Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Andrew Stott, I'm the Emperor of Stomaria, and today I'm very pleased to announce that we've received our second batch of silver Stomarian stater coins. So, as I say, we have received our second batch of silver Stomarian stater coins, and this is very, very exciting for us, because our first batch of stater coins was received by us at the tail end of 2021, and these featured the Kingdom of Wayward to mark the occasion in which they became an associated state within the Empire of Stomaria itself. They actually became our first formal territory, because the Kingdom of Wayward consists of private freehold land. And this second batch of staters, we've actually ordered twice as many. So we ordered 100 stater coins the first time around, with each stater coin consisting of 5 staters. So to make it, to put it into terms that most people understand, if I have a £5 note or a $5 note, I don't have $1, I have $5, but it is in 1 unit. So that's the easiest way I can think to define a stater coin. A stater coin, at this time certainly, has 5 staters within it. And 5 staters equates to 5 grams, because a stater is equivalent to 1 gram of pure silver in this instance. So 5 staters, 5 grams of silver, 1 coin. And that's about as straightforward as I can make it. But we ordered 100 coins, so the equivalent of 500 staters, at the tail end of 2021. And this time around, we've ordered 1,000 staters in the form of 200 coins, each consisting of 5 staters. And many of these coins are actually going to be immediately distributed to other micronationalists and micronations that have invested into the production of these coins and have supported Stomaria in its endeavours. So, off the top of my head, I know Molossia, Ladonia, Wayward, Moreland, and some private citizens, Stomarian citizens, as well as citizens of other micronations. Those micronations not necessarily acquiring the status themselves, but certain citizens from other micronations are acquiring them. So this is all very exciting, because the whole purpose of utilizing the Stomarian stater, or acquiring the Stomarian stater, is so that it can be utilized as a medium of exchange in the inter-micronational trade network that we're looking to establish. That is to say, to have this silver coin to purchase goods and to be used as a way of purchasing services between micronations. And a lot of people might ask, well, why would you do this? And the answer is pretty straightforward, and is, I think, a two-front. There are 2 answers to this particular question. So the first, obviously, is that because of the nature of what we are a micronation looking to attain greater levels of self-determination and self-reliance. And this would include reducing reliance on the macronational currency, in our case the pound sterling, where we can. And so using the silver Stomarian stata, this can be used as a form of money, not currency, money, which people can have faith in, because the value of the coin is not based on faith. It is based on the commodity that is made out of. So people will be exchanging silver, pure silver, for other goods and services. Now, a lot of people, when they create a micronation or they look at micronations, they see that they print out these bits of paper. They might be made of the finest paper with the finest ink. They might be laminated or whatever else, but they're not worth anything. There is no value in these bits of paper that they define as a currency for their micronation. And I think the obvious benchmark, or the most obvious benchmark that I can think of as to whether or not you have a genuine sound monetary system, is to ask yourself a very honest question. Would I work for this for the rest of my life? So if you're printing off bits of paper at home and telling people it has value, but you wouldn't yourself work for that for the rest of your life, then it doesn't have value, does it? Now, in our particular situation, in our circumstance, I can honestly say yes. If someone wanted to pay me in gold and silver or whatever else, that takes the form of the Stomarian stata coin, then I would say yes, because I know that silver has a universal value. I know that gold has a universal value, and these are two commodities that we're looking to utilize as a form of sound money within Stomaria. But that all aside, the other reason that we are doing this, not only as a case of self-reliance, but it is also evidently a way of educating people about the importance of commodity money or sound money, because a lot of people don't understand that the pound, the euro, the dollar, and all the rest of it, these are all fiat currencies, not money. And all of these fiat currencies will eventually be inflated into oblivion. I have made various videos about this before. I would recommend you go and watch them if you're interested in learning more. I'm not going to go on a massive tangent and discuss this now, but needless to say, the pound, the euro, the dollar, the yen, every macronational currency in the world, it's not backed by anything, it's not pegged to anything. More and more is just created by banks and institutions, and sooner or later it'll all go the same way as every macronational fiat currency in history. Many countries have already experienced this now through bouts of hyperinflation. Iran or, like Venezuela would be a good example, Argentina. These are all experiencing massive amounts of hyperinflation, as well as what you would class as inflation. But even in comparatively wealthy Western countries like the USA or the United Kingdom, our inflation rates, if anyone's ever, seen the news recently, inflation is going through the roof. They're excited that it's dropped a couple of percent. What was it, in the United States? I think their inflation was, 8% at one point or something to that effect. And they were celebrating dropping to 8% inflation or something. And in the United Kingdom, inflation, I believe, was 10%. And it basically means that all of the fiat currency that you might be storing in your bank, your savings, your life's work, is just gradually losing purchasing power year on year. If to put it in simpler terms, if you have £100,000 in your bank account, but they create twice as much currency and inject it into the circulating supply, inflation will increase by as much as 100%. And all of a sudden, the £100,000 that you have is now only got £50,000 worth of purchasing power. That is the problem with inflation. That is the devastating impact of inflation. It is the theft of people's wealth in order to prop up particular regimes or governments or institutions. And this is something that we've tried to educate people about in as much as we can through micronationalism. But that's all aside. The Stomarian stata we hope to utilize as a medium of exchange, principally as I say, an educational tool, but also as a way of injecting real wealth into the micronational community. We did used to do this through generic bullion because it was more efficient for tax purposes for us. But we decided to take the plunge and actually produce our own Stomarian bullion, our own Stomarian coinage, because we are determined, I think, more to become self-reliant than we are determined to, take advantage of potential tax breaks or, do it a cheaper way. It is still all obviously very legitimate. Everything's hallmarked, everything's, below particular weights in which we can utilize these, and they're very small denominations. I think each coin is worth, I think about this time, probably around £2.50, give or take. And that purchasing power, while it will fluctuate in its worth and its value over time, it will gradually all just trend upwards. And this is the inevitability of the inflation of the fiat currencies of the world. As more is created, then everything goes up. Oil goes up, food goes up, precious metals go up, everything will go up because there's just more and more currency in circulation. So don't be fooled into thinking that your savings, your life's work is protected because it's in some bank or institution. If anything, it's probably the most vulnerable there. So, fair warning to anyone that does have their funds in a bank account, certainly in these times. But again, all of that aside, Stomarian Sata, the latest batch, so the 200 Stata coins that we've received, 100 of them feature the Kingdom of Wayward as before because we had the mold and we wanted to continue utilizing it, and we'll continue to be able to utilize that as long as we make use of it every couple of years. And so every couple of years we have like a refresher, if you like. So now we've started the clock again. And we'll produce more next year and the year after, I imagine. So it'll just keep going and going and going. And the second coinage, the second coin design that we have is, it features the Kingdom of Lithua. Now, the Kingdom of Lithua is actually an external trade partner of the Empire of Stomaria. But that said, they are nevertheless going to be a very integral part of our trade network. In fact, they have so far not only concluded with us the single largest trade agreement utilizing the Stomarian Stata that we've ever had, but they are actually the largest holder of Stomarian Statas outside of Stomaria itself. So for that reason, we wanted to thank them and to pay homage to the fact that they are an integral part of what we're trying to do by having them minted, by having them on the reverse side of the coin. And so that we have 100 coins featuring the Kingdom of Lithua and 200 coins featuring the Kingdom of Wayward, including the first batch. And I hope, in the fullness of time, that many other Micronations will also be featured on these coins, because it is a great form of advertisement for them, and it's a great form of advertisement for us. Because you'll be able to see gradually the number of Micronations, which we have a lot of time and respect for, that are going to be featured on this coinage. And more people, as they're passed around, will come to understand and appreciate and potentially get involved in those Micronations. And so yeah, I think that's about all I wanted to cover for this. It's not going to be a particularly long video, I don't think, but and it could have been a lot shorter had I not gone on a tangent about fiat currency. But I just wanted to get the message out there and let people know we have received the second batch of Stomarian Stata coins. These are going to be distributed relatively quickly to a relatively large number of individuals and Micronations, and I'm hoping to see some of them utilized as a medium of exchange without my involvement. And at that point, I know that we've succeeded in creating a monetary system in which genuine value is being exchanged. So yeah, I think that's about everything. So if you did want to become a part of the Stomarian community, then please feel free to do so through our Patreon campaign, the link of which I shall leave in the description below as always. You can also find the details of the other Micronations that make up the Empire of Stomaria in the description below as well. But otherwise, if you did enjoy this video, then please feel free to give it a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll catch you in the next one.